Hello, and welcome to Mental Health Advocacy Services, second of 3 videos on fair housing laws. Today, we are going to talk about source of income discrimination. Did you know that California law forbids housing providers, like landlords or property managers, from discriminating against tenants based on the source of their income? This means that landlords cannot refuse to rent to someone just because they rely on a housing subsidy or any other form of government assistance to pay their rent. It's also illegal for a landlord to refuse to allow inspections, complete paperwork, or make repairs that are required by certain voucher programs. Does the Federal Fair Housing Act also protect tenants from discrimination based on how they plan to pay their rent? Refusing to rent to people with housing vouchers and other subsidies may violate federal law if such practices disproportionately negatively impact a federally protected category of people. The Federal Fair Housing Act applies to race, color, national origin, religion, sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, familial status, and disability. For example, if refusal to rent to people with Section 8 vouchers disproportionately excludes people with disabilities from housing, then that practice could violate federal fair housing law. Does this mean that landlords aren't allowed to screen applicants with a housing subsidy? No. While landlords and other housing providers cannot decline a tenant or treat a prospective tenant with a housing subsidy differently than other applicants, they still have the right to screen all applicants according to their lawful tenant screening criteria. Housing providers can, for example, still screen prospective tenants for income eligibility to ensure that they will be able to afford the rent. They just can't refuse to rent to the tenant based on how the tenant will be paying the rent. What can I do if a housing provider doesn't follow the law? If a landlord or housing provider is violating the law, you may want to first try informing them of their violation. You can communicate this verbally, but it's always best practice to do this kind of correspondence in writing. You could write an email or send a text message or a letter to the landlord requesting that they comply with the law and consider renting to you. Be sure to keep a copy of your correspondence for your records. If the landlord still refuses to rent to you, and you believe their decision is based on illegal discrimination, then you can file a private lawsuit against them, or you can file a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department. If you believe the landlord's practice may be disproportionately affecting members of a federally protected category, such as individuals of a certain race or people with disabilities, you can also file a complaint with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. We hope you enjoyed this video and found the information useful. For more information on mental health advocacy services, please visit our website at www.mhas-la.org. Thank you.